In the quiet corners of the world, some seek not fortune, but silence. A place where the only voice that matters is the whisper of moving water. He came here not to conquer the wild, but to ask for its permission to forget a world made of concrete and noise. And in its place, to build a new world from the bones of the forest itself. Every cut is a conversation. A question asked of the wood, will you hold? The jungle does not give its secrets easily. You must earn them with patience, with sweat, with reverence. He is not just building a shelter. He is crafting a prayer. Each piece of bamboo, a verse. Each knot, a silent vow. To live a life measured not in minutes, but in moments of stillness. The forest floor, a blanket of forgotten leaves, will become his foundation. He understands that to build something that lasts, you must first respect the ground on which it stands. He moves with a purpose that feels ancient, a rhythm learned from the trees themselves. And as he leaves, the forest holds its breath, waiting for his return. This is not an act of construction. It is an act of translation. Translating the chaos of a past life into the clean lines of a new beginning. His hands, though calloused, move with the grace of a painter. Each shaving of wood, a word shaved from a story he no longer wishes to tell. The waterfall is a constant companion. Its roar, a powerful mantra that drowns out the lingering echoes of the city. He is building a skeleton of hope. A frame strong enough to hold the weight of a quiet future. The roof is not meant to shut the sky out. It is meant to listen to the rain, to feel the pulse of the storm and know that you are safe within it. Every binding is a promise. A promise from one piece of wood to another to hold on, to become something more. Together, from a distance, it might look like a simple hut. But up close, it is a testament to the idea that peace is not found, but built. And now, he rests. Not from exhaustion, but in communion with his creation. They breathe together, the man and the house. The frame is set, the bones are in place. Now, he must give it skin. He weaves the walls, not to keep the world out, but to invite the right parts in. The light, the breeze, the scent of wet earth. His tools are simple, extensions of his own will. The blade knows the bamboo's weakness. It knows just where to press to split the stalk. but not break its spirit. This work is a delicate dance between force and surrender, knowing when to push and when to let the material guide you. The structure stands against the cascade, a quiete de fiance, a man-made thing that has learned the rhythm of a wild place. And in this harmony, a different kind of strength is born. The door is the final piece of the puzzle. It is more than an entrance. It is a boundary, a line drawn between the world he left behind and the one he has built. He shapes it with the care of a man who understands the importance of thresholds, how crossing one can change everything. The roof is a tapestry of leaves and small timbers, each one laid with precision, like feathers on a wing. It is finished. A sanctuary born of earth and water, wood and will. The walls are woven like a basket, strong enough to protect, yet porous enough to breathe. The man stands inside, but he is not a conqueror in his castle. He is a guest in a home the forest helped him build. The act of splitting bamboo is an act of trust. Trust in the grain, in the strength hidden within the hollow stalk. The house stands as proof of that trust. He adds a railing, not for decoration, but as an invitation to lean, to watch the water, to be still. He must now build a bridge between his world and the water's edge. A staircase made of the same earth, it descends to. Every step is a commitment. A commitment to walk this path, one careful footfall at a time. He sets the heavy timbers in place, the anchors of his new journey. And now, the work is truly done. The structure is no longer just an object. It is a part of the landscape, as if it had grown there itself. A perfect echo of its surroundings. The home is now a living thing. A window becomes an eye, looking out at the world it has joined. Through it, the forest is not a view, but a presence. The leaf-thatched roof, a crown of perfect imperfection. He finds his materials in the undergrowth, the sinew of vines, the strength of fallen branches. He wastes nothing. Here, everything has a purpose. The floorboards are laid, a patient rhythm of place and secure. He is erasing the memory of unsteady ground. He works on the roof, weaving a shield against the sky. The walls rise, not as barriers, but as definitions of space. This is where the world stops, and my home begins. The pattern is intricate, intuitive, a language spoken only by his hands and the bamboo. He secures the final pieces. Every connection reinforcing the whole. He is not just connecting pieces of wood. He is reconnecting with a part of himself long thought lost. And in the quiet completion, there is a profound peace. The hands that build are the hands that heal. They learn the texture of a new life by shaping it from scratch. He weaves the walls, turning individual reeds into a unified strength, a metaphor for the fractured pieces of the soul being brought together. The sharp blade of the saw cuts through more than just wood. It cuts away the excess, the unnecessary, the noise, until only the essential remains. He doesn't impose his will on the landscape. He collaborates with it. The house is a product of that partnership. Small, deliberate taps of the hammer. The quiet heartbeat of creation. He works with a craftsman's focus, lost in the task. He finds himself. The structure is complete, standing proud and humble. It is a physical manifestation of his resilience. The door is hung. A simple hinge. A universe of meaning. He looks at his creation, and for the first time in a long time, he sees a reflection of peace. The house is finished. The prayer is answered. He has not built an escape. He has built a destination. A place to arrive. A place to be. The work required him to be precise, to be mindful, to be present. And in doing so, it taught him how to live again. He stands barefoot on the wood he shaped, feeling the solid ground beneath him, both literally and figuratively. The ghosts may still whisper on the wind, but here, in the house that silence built, he finally knows the language of peace.
A very special thank you to the owner of the YouTube channel King of Seder for creating this wonderful video and allowing me to comment. If you enjoyed this narrative, please visit and support their channel at the link in the description below.